Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Voice of Reason podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Foltz, and in today's video, I'll be talking about what it means to be an American and how that relates to the events that happened last night, and kind of my thoughts on how I feel about what happened. So first off, what it means to be an American. You really have to go back to before the founding of the country, and when the colonies first got started. Obviously, they weren't able to really make it on their own. They really needed the help of the British. So it was kind of a mutual agreement that they had, because they both needed each other. And then the French and Indian War came around, in which the colonies and the British fought against the French and the Indians, and that was kind of where everything started to separate for the colonies and Great Britain, because at that point the colonies realized that, hey, we don't really need Great Britain. We can do this on our own. And then Great Britain, conversely, had the opposite thought. They thought, all right, look, they couldn't do this without us. They really need us. We can really take advantage of this and keep them under our rule. And so eventually there was a lot of tension built up between the two sides as it escalated towards the War for Independence. And kind of the straw that broke the camel's back would be the Boston Tea Party, in which the colonists recognized that they had no representation, but they were still being taxed like they did. So they demonstrated and threw a bunch of tea into Boston Harbor, and that was kind of what set it off. And the drafting and the signing of the Declaration of Independence happened in 1776, and then we fought the War for Independence. And at the beginning of the war, it was a not good start for the colonies. They were getting beat pretty bad, and then finally at some point the colonies were able to string together a couple of battle wins, and it kind of put the British on the ropes. And at one point close to the end of the war, when King George realized that they were probably not going to win, they essentially sent a compromise to General Washington at the time and said, all right, we're going to give you all these rights, and we're going to do what you want us to do. And George Washington pretty much rejected and said, no, we're not taking that. Either we're 100% liberated, or it's going to be death. And obviously we're here today, so you know how that turned out. And how that kind of ties into what happened last night is that at some point the colonists had dealt with things that they thought were unfair, and they felt like they weren't getting the same sort of benefits and representation that the people of Great Britain were getting back in Great Britain. And they've kind of been, slowly getting agitated, because they were voicing their opinions, and they pretty much said, no, you're over there and we're over here, and we're going to treat you like second-rate citizens. And eventually they had a breaking point, and they said enough is enough, and they got together and they decided to do something about it. And in my opinion, that's kind of what happened yesterday. there's a lot of it could have been avoided, whether it be through the media actually doing what they're supposed to do and reporting on all the stories and not just the ones that they agree with. There was a lot of words that were said that probably amped things up. But at the end of the day, I think what happened yesterday was a lot of people kind of found their breaking point, and at some point, if things continue to go the way they go, more people will start to realize that at some point they're gonna have to stand up for something, whatever they believe in, and what is that going to look like? I did notice that a lot of Christian conservatives were condemning what happened last night, and they have their opinions, and my opinion about it is well, maybe it could have been handled a little bit differently. That at some point, we're gonna get fed up with not being treated the way that we're supposed to be treated, the way that the founding fathers set it up for us to be treated. At some point, a breaking point will happen, and we're gonna have to stand up for what we believe in. And I'm at the point now where for me, now's the time to not back down, and now's the time to stand up for what I believe in and what's right. And I don't really care who agrees with me or doesn't agree with me. This is the moment that is the moment when I stop worrying about what other people think and how other people feel about things. If it's the truth and it needs to be said, then I will say what needs to be said. And if need be, then I'll put my life on the line for those values that I stand for, because it's that important. And I think that the basic gist of what happened yesterday was people saying this is kind of where we draw the line, and if you continue down this path, then we will do with the duty that is outlined in the Declaration of Independence, and we will make sure that regardless of which political side of the aisle you fall on, that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness will be able to be given to all people, and not just people who have the same political ideology or social ideology. And the Democrats have made it very clear over the last 10 to 15 years that they're essentially going to come for your rights. And I know there's a lot of people that don't believe that, and that's fine. That's your opinion. You don't have to believe that. But when it happens, we'll look back at January 6, 2021, and we'll say, why do you think we were making such a big deal about it? It's because we knew this was coming, and we tried to stand up for what was right and what we believed in and what this country was founded upon. So to be honest, I had no problem. Again, it's unfortunate that people, that one person lost their life. It's just an unfortunate situation that happened. I'm not going to justify either one because it was always a possibility if that would happen if you go into the Capitol. Obviously, would assume a few people probably got injured. But, at some point, come death or persecution, we're all going to have to stand up for something. Whether it be your religion, your ideology, or your rights. At some point, if things continue the way they're going, at some point, people, real patriots everywhere across the country are going to have to stand up and say, all right, enough is enough. This is not what the country is supposed to be doing, and we're going to do something about it. And I mean, for me, that moment has already come, and I know there's other conservatives out there who don't agree with that, and that's fine. That's their opinion, but we can't be going around saying 1776 and saying all the other rah-rah stuff if we're not prepared to take the action when it's required of us to take. That's my biggest problem with what's going on, with what went on, because 95% of the time yesterday, absolutely nothing happened. And then you had a few people that were able to get inside, and thankfully there wasn't a lot of physical harm to people, and there wasn't a lot of damage to the property. I know everyone's going to talk about the broken windows and whatnot, but at the end of the day, the people who wanted their voices to be heard went to the people who have an obligation to do what is right for the American people, and they took the issue straight to the people in charge. I mean, and again, at some point, whether it's in 2021 or it's 2030 or 2050, at some point, if we don't get a hold of the way things are going, at some point we're all gonna have to stand up. And for me, that was the kind of the biggest letdown, is that people that you expect to stand up and to understand what you're fighting for kind of left you high and dry. And we'll see what happens in the future with the Republican Party, because right as of right now, I don't know that I would vote for a Republican next election. Not that I wouldn't vote, but if the nominee is someone like a Mitt Romney, who has the spine of a worm, then I will vote. I will absolutely vote third party. And if the Democrats continue to keep control, then that's just what happens. But I don't care if I'm the only person that will stand for what I believe in. If that's what it takes, then that's what it takes, and that's what I'll do. And I think at the end of the day, that's why everyone was so I guess bothered is, I don't know that bothered is the right word, but that's why everyone was so bothered, is because there were people that said, like, at a certain point, there's nothing that you can do that will shut me up or will silence me. And that was kind of the reasoning that I had when everything happened. It was just kind of like, all right, there's other people that are willing to risk their lives for the good of the country, and to make sure that the country is the same for everyone. And again, a lot of people won't agree with that, and I don't really care. Like I said, you can have your opinion, that's fine. I have mine, and at some point there will come a time when we have to stand up and say, all right, this is it. You know, if it be by death, then so be it. But something needs to happen. And again, we can't, as conservatives, we can't say, 1776 and the government's taking our rights and the government's doing this and that. If we can't say that if we're not willing to stand up and to take action when it's not popular and when it's not necessarily prudent for us. If it doesn't really matter if it's accepted or not. If you're the only one that has to take a stand, then you're the one that has to take a stand. At the end of the day, you know, freedom will die with me if that's what it takes. If I'm the only one, then that's just the way it's going to be, and that'll be it. But I think that's what's missing in this country is we are not raising young men to be strong enough to make that decision and to handle that type of pressure. Because it's easy to say it when everything's going great and everything's going good, but as soon as things get difficult, we apologize and we bow down, and that's just not what I'm going to do anymore. You know, if it's for the sake of the country, I will fight to the last breath to defend the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States from whoever it is, foreign or domestic, because that's what's outlined in both those documents. If the United States falls in the next 5 years, and I hope it doesn't, at the end of the day, obviously first you stand on the Bible, but the Constitution and the Declaration are both based on the Bible and Judeo-Christian principles. So at the end of the day, the freedom is always what I'm going to strive for. I don't care if nobody else stands with me. I'll stand by myself if that's what it takes. And I think that conservatives right now just need to kind of suck it up, and we just need to grow a backbone and say enough is enough, because it's not going to stop. It hasn't stopped. We've keeled over and let it happen for far too long, and now look where we're at. So I hope that this video kind of inspires you and makes you understand that at some point, if you're anywhere on the right, you're going to have to make a stand for something that you believe in. Thank you guys for watching the video, and leave a like and comment and share if you think this will help someone else you know. Thank you.